What's up guys, it's Fire here, and today I'm going to be doing a live commentary. Now I don't normally do these, I kind of pre-record the game while I'll replay and then I go up and I have a list of things that I want to mention because I find it more crisp, but LoL replay has kind of been a bit buggy at the moment, so unfortunately I'm having to do it this way, and hopefully you're still going to gain some insight into this and learn something from it. So I'm playing Jinx, a new champion, and initial thoughts so far is that she's really good, especially when she gets ahead, but she kind of struggles when she gets behind. She's really strong in team fights and she can do a huge amount of AoE damage, and she's pretty versatile as well because she can like poke pretty much like a Caitlyn, and she can also do as much burst as someone like Graves, not quite as much as Graves, but she, over like a consistent team fight, she will output as much as him with that burst from your W and your ultimate. So for runes and masteries, I'm running very standard 2154 for masteries, and then I'm running runes very standard as well. I'll put both of them in the description for you. The reason I'm not running 21.9, even though you can do on Jinx, is just because I prefer the mana regen so I can trade more with my abilities, because the thing with Jinx is that a lot of her damage comes from her abilities, and if you don't take that and if you don't have any mana, then you pretty much just lose all your trade potential and you just pretty much like auto lose the lane. So I'm just hanging around here like until 150, and then I'm going to go and help my jungler. Nidalee's obviously warded over the wall, so she knows what's going on, and I'm going to try and wait for this to come off before I go up, but it's going to be out of time, so I'm actually going to go up before. Now, I'll explain Jinx's skill set very quickly, and there are two things you can really max. That's going to be your Q, or you can max your W first. Now, I actually prefer maxing my Q in most lanes. W provides more damage, but it's not guaranteed. So what I mean by that is, like, it's like an Ezreal Q, basically, with a wind-up as well. So if they're in front behind minions, then you're not going to do any damage to them, and it's very difficult for you to actually do damage like that. So the best way is just to max your Q. You can then transform into Rocket and Harass, and you also get more of an attack speed bonus when you're using your minigun. So your Q has two forms. It has the rocket launcher, and then it has the minigun. I'm using the minigun at the moment. You can see it's quite short range, only 525, which is really low. I'm standing behind the minions because I can see him in the brush there. I know what he's going to do. You can see the best way to trade on Jinx is switching after you've got the 3 stacks. So you see the 3 stacks here increase attack speed. That stacks every time you auto attack with the minigun, and then you can switch to your cannon form, your rocket launcher afterwards. You get increased range, you also do more damage, but you get the attack speed still from it. So you're not really like, it just works more crisply than doing it straight from the Q. So that was a really good route by Zyra. Now we're level 2, and I'm just going to poke with my rocket launcher because you get like 700 range, which is insanely good. It's really higher than any other AD level, what, level 2. So it's really good for trading. Now you can see I'm actually trying to push at the moment. I'm missing CS here. Part of the reason why I'm missing CS is because I'm talking to you guys. I'm trying to do the live commentary. It's because this is my first one, it's a little bit off-putting. But the other reason is because I just want to get this so I can poke Lucian, because Lucian is really low at the moment. And if you see, like, I'm poking with my Q here onto Thresh, because if Thresh gets low and Lucian gets low at the same time, then it means that they've got no kill potential. I mean, I can just do whatever I like in this lane. I can push it under turret, and then even if Thresh does hook me, if he jumps in, I'm just going to kill him. So that's my goal at the moment, is to push really hard, maybe miss a couple of CS, but punish Lucian for every CS that he gets under turret. Now, as I was saying, Jinx's skill set, the second ability is going to be her Zap, and that is this spell here, so the wind up, and it actually did hit Lucian there. You can see it reveals him, and it also does AoE slow, not an AoE slow, a single target slow, sorry, as well. So it's really good for chasing people, and it's also really good for trading, because what I would do is you get 3 stacks of this here, you then swap to your rocket launcher, and then you'd attack them, and if they came to trade back any more of that damage, you'd then just zap them and run away. It's really easy, and I mean, another thing that the minigun's really good at, like you can see I've got loads of attack speed here right now. I'm just shredding this turret. Like, this is pre 8 minutes, which means he has 113 armor, and I'm just, oh god, that was bad. I thought Zyra was going to get the aggro. I wasn't really paying attention. But this is pre 8 minutes, so it means I'm actually doing a lot of damage to this. I'm actually going to go back after that because I took a lot of damage. That's another thing I do want to talk about too, because a lot of people ask me, like, when do you go back? What's the optimal time to go back? And I'm going to be honest, it depends on your game. But in general, when your lane opponent goes back and buys, you then want to go back and buy as well. Because if you have a look at the moment, like, you always want to press tab when your lane opponent comes back to lane. This is for any lane, not just bot lane. Because if you can see, like, he's gone double Doran's. Now what this tells me right now is that Doran's is the most effective trading tool you can buy. And so if I want to stay with him and I want to trade as much as he does, then I have to buy that as well. Now, that's not always possible. Like if you're really far ahead, then you don't have to, but I'm not that far ahead. Like I'm 28 CS to 25. Like granted, I do have a wave here that I can mop up, but I'm pretty even with Lucian. And when we go back to lane, we're going to be setting again. Like the only reason I was so dominant before was because I traded level 2 so well, and that's not really going to happen now because we're both even levels and he's going to trade back damage. So when I buy 2 Dorans, what he's saying is that I just want to keep up with him in lane. I'm going to trade with him and I'm going to look to win the lane. If he buys 2 Dorans and I don't buy 2 Dorans, it's basically saying that I'm giving up the lane to him and I'm just going to ignore his little power spike that he has on this first back, because the longer the game goes on, the less like effective Doran's Blade gets. And so it means that by the time like this gets to, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, that Doran's Blade isn't going to make much of a difference. And that'll be the point when I can then come back into the game, because I haven't gone 475 gold into Doran's Blade. So that's a really good job by Zed. It looks like he might pick up another one as well, but we are missing bot lane, and so we're pinging here to tell them that he's missing. But the problem is that we left too late, so there's nothing we can actually do. These guys have gone so deep right now. I know they're going to die. I'm not even going to bother to go in here. Katarina seemed to have flashed, and that was a good E through the wall there by Lucian. So there were 2 choices I either had there. Basically, I either wanted to push the wave so that he missed these minions for roaming, or I wanted to follow him immediately. Now, I didn't actually do both of these because that was just my bad. I'm going to be honest, I didn't play that very well. He's actually missing these now because he's so far, he had to run so far away, and it wasn't that bad. And this is really good as well, because he's delaying him. He missed that whole wave even though I misplayed, and so it means that we're pretty much just able to punish him for going and getting that kill. Now, this is the basic trading technique that I was teaching you. Just the 3 auto attacks to get the attack speed. When you switch to your cannon form, you keep that 3, you keep the attack speed, and so it just means you can trade really effectively and really fluidly. One thing that I do want to talk about is that I'm going to put my E down here to trap Thresh, and then I'm going to jump onto my attack speed form, and then I'm going to jump onto my rocket launcher as he's running away. Now the reason I put the E down there was because I knew Thresh was going to come in on the hook, and so I placed it where he was going to be. It instantly snared him, and they kind of disengaged for us and probably saved Zyra's life. Now, the one thing I want to talk about is the feel of a character. Now, this doesn't really, like, count as a proper mechanic. Okay, I'm going to talk about this in a second, because I'm going to kill this tower and then I'm going to pop my passive. You see here, look how fast I am. Okay, he's hit level 6, shit. I'm just going to wait here. I'm going to get 1 kill. I'm not even going to bother, I'm just going to ult. Double kill. Okay, so you see here, oh, we're getting a... okay, he died. Lol. That was really quick. Oh my god, he didn't die. Oh, Zed, you should always finish him off. Holy shit. He got him. Okay, so that was one thing as well, which is really... Wow, that spear. Wow, that was really good. Okay, so one thing I haven't mentioned before... I'm actually probably dead. Oh, no, he's not. Okay, I'm good. Okay, so I can finally talk now. That's good. There's too much action, man. I can't focus. His passive... Oh, sugar. This is really not good. Yeah, okay, I'm going to eat that in the face, because if I don't, then I'm not running away. I don't think she can get me, you know. There you go. I'm zapping for the slow. I'm going to dodge this next spear. I'm going to run upwards when she throws it. There you go. So because it's such strong range, if I've already made a decision and I'm not like in the process of making the decision, then I have more time to react, because I know what I'm already going to do. Like, I don't have to think, am I going to go up? Am I going to dodge this? Is this going to hit me? I've already made the decision that, yeah, this is going to hit me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run upwards. And you can see I made it a lot quicker than I would have otherwise. And that's really the way to dodge things like Malphite as well. Like, if you know the Malphite is coming, then you can react quicker. You can just flash away. And that's a really good way of, like, prediction, using prediction to make up for the lack of mechanics. Now, as I was saying with the passive, so I destroyed that turret and I suddenly got a huge speed burst. Now, because they were both really low, they didn't expect it. So I just ran up into them and I just like aggressed straight onto them. You see that Lucian popped his barrier, and when he popped his barrier, I ran away. I ran into this brush here because I don't have vision. And so I abused the fact that he doesn't have any vision and then waited for his barrier to time out. And then when he face checked me, I got that extra few hits onto him and managed to pick up the kill. If I'd continued attacking him, he would have still got a lot of damage onto me, and I wouldn't have actually done any damage, because obviously when they got the barrier up, you're not actually affecting their health or anything, you're just eating through the barrier shield, so it's not really worth it. Now, I can't remember what I was going to say before that, so I apologise. I'll just try and keep on my... Oh, I do remember actually, the fluid, like the flow of a character. So basically, like, if to demonstrate this, I'll go on my Q form. Like, look how slow she fires, like how clunky she feels when she's running. Like, look how slow I am. I have boots. I have 350. She just feels really clunky. Like, look at the animation. It feels really slow. And so when you're like this, it's very difficult to actually play a character. It sounds kind of stupid, but like with Vayne, she feels like mechanically good. Someone needs to block this out. There we go. Good. Jungle Katarina coming in there. You see my speed boost. I'm going to zap him. Pick up that. I'm going to switch to my rocket launcher form. One more hit. Got ya. So this is why Zach, what the hell? Jinx is so good at catching people, because you literally, as soon as you've got a kill, your movement speed comes in. But anyway, the flow of a character, so the feel of a character, I suppose. So I actually know, like, I have a friend who's in Challenger who actually runs attack speed marks on his red. So remember that, like, this means his trade potential in lane is actually pretty crap, because he's got attack speed instead of AD, and so he actually loses out on auto attack trades. But it makes him play better, because he feels like he's in control more, and he feels like he has more to do. Like, he feels more comfortable on the champion, basically, and so he can feel like he can make more plays. And it's really important that, like, you get that natural balance with a character, because if you feel clunky and you feel like you're not doing anything, then you aren't going to do anything. Like, it's the same with the legendary Nocturne skin. That is my pet hate skin, because I feel slow with it, so I don't tend to gank as much, because I feel like I'm not going to get there in time. Even though the movement speed is still the same with other skins, it's just that skin that makes me feel slow, and so I can't perform well on it. Now, it's kind of a weird thing to say, but it's actually really important that you kind of find your happy medium with the characters that you're going to play and that you're going to main, because if you don't find it, you're not going to do very well with them. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is your build pass. So there are 2 build pass on Jinx, and one of them, like, her AD ratios are insane. Look at her W, 235 plus AD. Like, what the hell? That's a 1 point something, 1.4 I believe, actually, ratio on her W, which is absolutely insane. Now, that is really, really high. Like, compare that with Graves, it's like a 0.8, I believe, 0.7. And so this means that you can just stack AD. You can get Bloodthirst to Last Whisper on her, and she will do an absolute ton of damage. Like, I'm not even kidding. She will do huge amounts of damage with her abilities. Now, the other thing is that, like, her AoE here, I'm just going to see if I can pick this up. Okay, he's going to run the other way, but I'm going to force her into Katarina, hopefully. Okay, now we're not going to pick that up, unfortunately. The other thing is her rocket does AoE damage. You can see, like, it's going to does damage to Jinx's target and all nearby enemies, and this ability can crit as well. So if you crit an enemy for 500 damage, say, then what you can actually do is you can, like, if you crit, say, this middle minion here, you'll crit all of them around for the same amount of damage. And so in team fights, like, imagine this is like a Twitch ultimate, basically, when you hit someone. It's absolutely incredible, and it does a huge amount of damage. So there are 2 builds you can go, and it's going to be Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, or you can go Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, and then straight into, like, a Shiv afterwards. Now, that combination is going to be all about your burst damage. I'm just going to see if I can pick this guy up very quickly. I'm going to put these behind him, try and zap him very quickly and catch up to him. I do have more damage than he does, and I have my zap in like 2 seconds. But he has his Thresh Lantern, so I'm not even going to bother chasing that anymore. So as I was saying, the 2 builds, the Infinity Edge build is going to base around this Q here, critting in team fights, and it's good for shredding like tanks. And also if you're like more of an auto-attacking playstyle, like, there's nothing wrong with admitting that you struggle with auto-attacking champions, or if you are good with them, like, that you need to play this game to your strengths. For me personally, I'm very good with Graves, and I wasn't very good with auto-attacking champions like Caitlyn, but that's where I had to put the effort in and learn them. And so Vayne and Caitlyn have become 2 of my strongest champions, just because I put so much time into learning the auto-attack based champions. Now, if you're that kind of person, like Vayne, Caitlyn, then you probably want to buy an Infinity Edge into Phantom Dancer, and then into a Last Whisper for the arm penetration, or a Bloodthirster for just more damage. If you're more of a caster person like Varus with the arrows, or if you're more of a Graves person, then you just want to build Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, and then get some attack speed after that. Now, that will mean your zap, you'll probably want to max that first, and that is going to do like 30 to 40% of someone's health in a team fight, which is ridiculous. It also means your ultimate's got a 1-to-1 ratio with your AD, so even that's going to do an absolute ton of damage. And, like, it's just really down to your playstyles what you want to do. You can see that I'm always in my minigun form for farming, because it personally just a lot quicker. Like, when you don't have attack speed, it's hard for you to actually get your Q. I'm going to go for Thresh here because he's out of position, but I don't think I'm really going to get much out of it. I'm just going to get a little bit of harass. So at the moment, like, basically their jungler is Fiddle, and I can see him top lane, so I have no danger right here, right now. So I'm just pushing because there's no reason like not to. Basically, I'm going to go for a kill here actually. I'm just going to make him walk around. Okay, unfortunately I didn't go too well. I just made him walk around the trap there, placed it right behind him so that he didn't really have a choice. Oh wow, he actually dived. Holy crap. So I'm going to use my ultimate. Holy shit. Oh, he buried me. No! That's rude. That is just bad manners. God damn, this guy. Who freaking does that? Oh, that has pissed me off. Right, okay. I'm tryharding now. This may be a sub game, but I'm gonna ruin people right now because that was gonna look pretty hot, right? And now that just made me look stupid. So I'm not happy. So I'm gonna go the Infinity Edge route this game because everyone on the team is really squishy. So if they group up in a team fight, like, then I just want to basically AoE everyone down to death. Because if you look at their team fight, basically Fiddle's going to jump in, and then Lucian's going to use his ult, Thresh is going to jump in, and Garen's going to spin in the middle of everyone. Our team fight's very AoE-centric as well, with Katarina, Zed jumping in, and Zyra and Shen taunts as well. So it's going to keep everyone grouped for me, especially with the Zyra and the Shen. And that's going to allow me to do a ton of damage with my crits. So that's going to be the best build for me now. Like, it's going to change game to game. The best thing about Jinx is that if you can actually play both types of her, you know, the auto-attacking and the ability that I was talking about before, if you can play both, then Jinx becomes a really, really versatile champion because you have so many options, like, in a game. If you don't know how you're going to, like, the enemy doesn't know how you're going to play a champion, then that's absolutely ridiculous, like, advantage for you to have because they don't know how to build properly. They don't, oh my god, he's actually going to ult. If he fears me, I'm buggered. Okay, I'm going in. See how the route there actually paid off big time. It was a bit wonky, and that's purely because I'm not very used to Jinx. That was my... What the hell? That blocks it? Jesus Christ, I did not know that. So, ouch. I knew I was going to take that, but fuck it. YOLO. Yeah, so as I was saying, like, it gives you a huge advantage, and I expect to see her in the LCS just because of that. Like, imagine if you are playing... I don't know, against Double Lift. Double Lift, you'd assume he'd want to take the... Oh my god, he's going deep. Boom. Okay, dodged. That was my bad. So you'd assume he's going for the auto-attacking because that's kind of style he plays. Then all of a sudden he could suddenly switch it up and he could start playing the ability damage kind of role with Jinx. And he could start doing absolute tons of damage with his abilities and play it in a burst comp. So, like, you pick an early Jinx, you think you know what's coming, like, protect the AD comp. And actually, what do you know, it's an AoE... team fight, huge damage kind of comp, and it's a really good strength to have. I actually really like Jinx, and I know I should have mentioned this earlier, but basically, one of the reasons I'm doing this right now, apart from fuck this Nidalee, please stop it. One of the reasons I'm doing this right now is because I actually have a LoL Pro guide on Jinx. LoL Pro asked me to do the guide for her when she was released. This is the pro guide as well, not one of the user submitted ones, which is actually really cool and a big thing for me for them to ask me to do it. So, that was really... My god, this vision's... Oh, sugar. I really got to stop talking. Like, holy mother of god, that was a lot of damage. Okay, so, yeah. I'm just too busy talking to pay attention. But anyway, as I was saying, it was a really cool thing for me, for them asking me. But I'll put that link in the description, and you can go and check out the LoL Pro guide that goes along with this commentary, I guess. So... there's a lot more detail in there. I'm going to be updating it as I go as well. And I'm pretty active in the comments. So if you've got anything to say about her or any of your own kind of pointers to give, like, it's a community at the end of the day. So if you have anything that I haven't said and that you think should be said, then just go ahead and say it in the comments. And I may even put it in the guide as well if it makes sense to do so. So definitely check out that guide as well. But right now what we're just trying to do is take the middle tower, because we've taken... these two here. Drake's just spawned, which I believe they've actually just done. So we can't do that at the moment, but we want to keep pushing objectives because their late game with Fiddlesticks is actually really good. Whereas we have Katarina jungle, so that's not going to be as effective, I guess, is the polite way of putting it. So we want to push their advantage as much as possible. And while Jinx is good late game, like she's really good late game because of her attack speed steroid on her Q. Like this is something that rivals Tristana's Q, which makes her so good as a steroid AD. But we want to push this advantage as quick as possible. So we're going to be grouping now and just should try and get as much as possible. I'm going to ping this and see if we can get him, but he's probably going to just run away. I'm going to use my Q to farm there, and Zyra's coming in from the side. If she lands this, he's going to die. I'm going to zap him. I'm going to switch my Q to the rockets for the range. The Q rocket also applies the red buff on the first target it hits. So that means that like that slow is going to be applied at that range, which is absolutely crazy, really. Just waiting for that to hit there. I'm going to land my ultimate because I don't want to go into depth. Then you can see my speed boost here. I'm going to get another one, and I'm going to try and go onto Lucian here. He's actually going to get away, I believe, from that. The Baron probably just enough. But like Jinx is really good in siege comps as well. This is something I did want to mention that I forgot already. But she's very good at just blasting down towers. Like look how quick I take that down. That's because of this attack speed. Like I'm on 130% attack speed at the moment, and I don't even have any attack speed. Like look at my items, just an Infinity Edge. Infinity Edge is not good for taking turrets. Bloodthirster would have been a lot better because for taking turrets you just want AD. Like you can't crit a turret, so the more AD you have, the more attack damage you're going the more damage you're going to be doing to the turret. And so that's... Oh, shit, everyone's fighting. So that's why you just... Like, Bloodthirster is better. So I have an Infinity Edge, and I shred that thing so quickly with no attack speed items. Like, imagine when I get a Zeal, how good that's going to be as well. I'm going to put my E just behind Fiddle to keep him in here, because I really want to kill this guy. I'm going to switch form to my Q to apply my red buff, and then I'm going to switch back to my Gatling gun, minigun, whatever it's called, to get the extra damage. And pick up the first again hit with minigun, with rocket launcher, sorry, because that's going to apply the slow onto Lucian. And then obviously I switched to the minigun because as soon as you're in range, you want to be using that minigun 100% of the time because the attack speed steroid is really, really good. I'm going to put this on me. Here you go. It's going to root Garen. I'm going to kite him around with my minigun. There's no point switching to rocket launcher right now because I can't do anything. I'm going to switch to rocket launcher to get the last few auto attacks in. Get the attack speed, and he's going to fear me, so I'm not going to go in. Even though it hit me, I didn't have any choice, because if I go in right there, like, and if I dodge it, sorry, then he's going to come straight for me. I'm actually going to stand here because I have my rocket launcher, so here we go. Just going to use this very quickly. I could have maybe killed him. I was hoping someone would come in and help me there, but unfortunately no one did. That's kind of my fault really. I'm not going to blame anyone. That was just me diving in. A bit Rambo. You see I have my Infinity Edge and PD now. So like you saw how quickly I was attacking this Lucian. Lucian has a Triforce which gives him attack speed, and I still attack way faster than him just because my minigun is so strong. Like one of the points, like I'll just go through Jinx's strengths very quickly and why you should pick her. So her main like strengths, I guess, is her versatility. So she can be a team fight auto attacking champion and then suddenly switch to an ability caster. You saw how much damage my ultimate did to Nidalee there, and I sniped with my zap as well to pick up a kill. Now that's kind of like Graves damage. Like I'm not kidding, that's probably more damage than Graves does with his ultimate, and I haven't built pure ID. Like I only had an Infinity Edge. Now that's partially because the ultimate is an execute, so that means the lower health they are, the more damage you do to them. And the other reason is just because the AD scaling is so high. Like it's much higher than Graves' ultimate, which means that you're going to do more damage anyway. But the percentage health is really what puts a nail in the coffin, I guess. 30% of your missing health is a lot of damage. Now the other reason you want to pick her is because in team fights she just absolutely wrecks. Like if you can get ahead, you will win the game like really easily. Like you can see that I'm 9-2. I'm not doing anything special. Like I'm talking to you guys. I'm focusing more on my commentary than I'm focusing on anything else. I'm going to try and zap for the slow. I missed that, unfortunately. I'm going to put the E down to trap him because I don't want to deal with this guy. He's really huge. I'm going to try and zap onto Garen and chase him, but I'm well aware that Nidalee's on the side here and she's going to be going for me. You can see that these two are here right now, and so I'm going to try and slow them with my zap, just predicting where they're going to be. Unfortunately, I don't hit them, so I'm going to back out. Now, the other thing that I was saying was that I'm not doing anything particularly special, but because I have so much, like I'm so far ahead and I have this attack speed steroid, I have a slow, I have a root. When you're not running away, like you do a huge amounts of damage and you're really, really really potent. The problem is with Jinx is that if you get behind and you're not on the offensive all the time, that's when you really start to like struggle, because Jinx doesn't really have an escape. So if they're gonna like, if they're going that aggressive for you, I'm gonna use my ultimate here after his barrier times out so that I get the full damage. And I'm just gonna kite here with my, I'm switching to some minigun to get the attack speed. I'm gonna kite, attack move here around. Click the lantern, Garen. Even I want you to click the fucking lantern. Oh my lord, people, click the lantern. He's not even on my team. I'd rather you survive and click it. You think you've flashed from me, bait? No, no. Okay, I'm just gonna use my rocket to pick up this kill. Boom, headshot. Pretty much going to be GG. So yeah, like you snowball so hard, and it's really good to close out games. So if you're at lower elo and you think you deserve a higher elo, then definitely pick up Jinx, because if you win lane every time, like when you, my opinion, when you should be out of your lane, or out of your elo, is when you win lane 100% or like 90% of the time. When you win lane 90% of the time, that's when you really deserve to be out of that elo. So like for me, Jinx is going to be perfect for that, because if you believe, if you're winning your lane all the time, then she's really good to close out games with. So just pick her up, see what you can do with her. Let's see what I can do. Oh, Jeff, freaking exhaust. Don't exhaust me. Oh my god, the inhib respawn. Oh, I should have ended the game. If they come back and we lose, I'm going to seriously rage. Yeah. Oh well, I'm going to pick up Bloodthirster because no one on their team is buying armor, like, apart from Garen. And Garen's not really my target at the moment. Like, I still do a ton of damage to him anyway, so it's not really that important. But back to my point, basically, Jinx is really good at solo carrying the game. Like you've seen, I've got a slow to protect myself, I've got the root, and that's all you really need to shred someone, because you do so much damage that by the time they've reached you again after the root and after the slow, they're going to be dead. I'm not going to lie, the ultimate is pretty broken. I'm going to be careful about using that word because I don't want to like shit on Riot or anything, but it's very strong at the moment. That's probably a better way of putting it. It's very strong at the moment because it does percentage health missing. So if there's 30% health of someone who has 4,000 health, that is a ton more than 2,000, which means that it's even good at dicking on tanks. Like if Garen runs at me, I'm not afraid of him because I can just root him. I can then kite him away with my attack speed, and then I can slow him with Zap when he breaks the root, and then I can ultimate him to finish him off. That's like a huge amount of damage, and it's really, really strong. So like she's really good at just carrying by herself. Now at the moment, what we're trying to do, like when you're in this situation, you have to be kind of careful, because something that a lot of players below, actually I'm even going to say that people with Platinum do this a lot. When you take the first inhibitor of the game, all your minions become stronger. That means that all your lanes automatically push into the enemy base. Now, while this isn't bad because it means that you can do pretty much whatever you want, and the enemy is going to always be pushed up to their base, it means that they get free farm. Like, they can just sit in their base and farm every wave that comes to them, and there's no way you can stop them. Like, unless we want to fight straight away, we can't stop them. And so it's really dangerous if you take the inhibitor and then don't do anything with it, because they will just sit there and get free farm. Like I have 180 farm, Lucian has 170, and I didn't stomp him in lane, I guess, but I did pretty well against him. So I'm gonna zap him now. I'm gonna put my root down. I'm gonna ultimate now, which did a shit ton of damage. Holy crap. I need the speed buff. Like if someone gives me a speed buff, I will wreck. There we go, that's speed buff number 2. And now I'm just going to red buff again, switch to that, and that's pretty much game. So you can see how good like Jinx is at catching people there, as I was saying earlier. But this was the problem. So if we didn't force a fight and the enemy team just turtled, like, it's very easy for them to come back in the game. And that's one of the problems, really. So yeah, this is why look, I'm going to demonstrate why she's so good at kiting. I'm not going to talk. There we go. So like, even though I was on like 60% health, I probably lost like, what, 500 health or something? If they nerf the damage a little and the passive to the ground, I'm going to go for D on the end of that thing. Ground will be fine. The passive is the problem. I don't agree with that, because like, basically, if... What the fuck? Why don't we end the game? People, I have places to be. Okay, well, GG guys. So I hope you enjoyed this commentary. Like, this is probably less informative than my normal stuff because I'm playing the game at the same time. So while I want to impart as much wisdom, that just sounded really weird, but impart as much wisdom on you guys as possible to help you play Jinx. I'm obviously having a little bit of fun with this as well, and I'm trying to play, so it's difficult to talk and play at the same time, but I would obviously get better at it the more times I do. So that's going to wrap this commentary up, and if you enjoyed it, please do leave a thumbs up, come subscribe, and also share it with your friends. It really does help me out. Please let me know if you preferred this live commentary style, if you prefer my usual kind of commentaries where I take them from LoL replays, and as always, I'll catch you in my next video.